The jurors are bringing something unique to the proceedings, and you get to welcome their insight. Expertise is essential, but entitlement is optional. And welcome to the Foster Your Voice podcast with me, Kristi Foster. After a 30-year career in music and theater, I never imagined I'd be coaching trial attorneys. But once I entered your world, I quickly realized how critical and underutilized voice is in the courtroom. The truth is, you don't win trials with brute strength. You win with your voice. I'll give you tools to unlock your voice so you can communicate not just with purpose, but on purpose. If you want quick action tips to help you stay calm and in control, keep jurors engaged, and inspire your listeners to action, all through the power of your voice, you're in the right place. I'm Kristi Foster, and I'm here to help you foster your voice. Hello, Foster fam. Welcome to today's episode of the Foster Your Voice podcast. If you haven't already, please pause your listen quick to go leave a 5-star rating. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, just write a quick review for the podcast as well. Now, my birthday is coming up this month, and I'd love to hear how the podcast is helping you, what you're learning, what your takeaways are, and how you're noticing your own communication level up. So I invite you to pause and go do that quick. I'll still be here when you press play again. Okay, today I'm going to share with you the 2 types of personalities that just utterly send me over the edge and how they show up in the courtroom if you're not careful. But before we dive in, I just want to acknowledge that this is a time of year when I start doing some hardcore reflection as the current year wraps up and as I project into the new year, intentions, goals, etc. I just feel like this time of year, throughout the year, but this time of year in particular, because it's heavy on the self-reflection, this is a time to really pay attention to the tone of your inner voice. Now, my inner voice is usually positive. Usually, I have an inner voice that cheers me on, bolsters my courage, helps me keep my perspective, that maintains my mental health. I've got a generally positive inner monologue, but it's not always positive. And some people have no positivity at all. Sometimes my inner voice is a big dumb jerk. And it tries to tell me that I'm an imposter that doesn't know crap and that no one will ever find any value in what I have to offer. I mean, it's just cruel, right? And sometimes your inner voice might be a jerk too. So I just heard this brilliant hack for when that inner voice is a big ol' meanie. Change its vocal tone. Harness all that Disney adult energy you can muster and make your inner bully have a Mickey Mouse voice. Your brain can't take Mickey Mouse seriously when it's calling you worthless. Brilliant hack. This will take some awareness and some catching it in the act focus, but your brain is flexible. You can rewire your neural pathways that hijack your inner monologue. Give it a try and let me know how this goes for you. The brain is so weird and so cool. Hey, real quick, if your jurors look confused when you say liability, standard of care, or damages, they're not tuning out because they don't care. They're tuning out because they don't speak law. I've put together a free guide called Top 20 Legal Terms to Avoid and What to Say Instead. It'll help you simplify your language without losing credibility, so your message actually lands. Download it now at fostervoicestudio.com/top20 or click the link in the show notes. All right, back to the episode. I'm not proud of it, but listen, we all have those personalities that just grate on our nerves. There are just some personality types that set me off. They annoy me to no end, and I just can't seem to rise above it, to be gracious and stay engaged. I mean, maybe they are a nice person. Maybe they are neighborly and good humored and philanthropic. But if they are one of these two personalities, it will be really hard for me to have any kind of meaningful relationship with them. I'm just being honest. So, what are they? It's the know it all and the apologizer. And what's wild is that these two extreme personalities show up in the courtroom more than you think. Now, I think a lot of folks are turned off by know it alls. There's just an arrogance that encircles a know it all. There's nothing you can teach me. Furthermore, your presence here is a waste of everybody's time and energy. That's how a know it all kind of presents themselves, right? Real annoying. That total lack of humility is utterly offensive to me. But also, I am personally alarmed at how it affects me, like how I adjust when I'm around a know it all. I shut down. They're not going to accept or take interest in what I have to say, so I might as well just clam up. My brain basically just folds its arms and says, "Oh, that's how we're doing it? Okay, fine." Now, I'm not saying that I like that response. I really do try to equal things out, try to be bold and speak up. But honestly, that battle is short lived. If they are unwilling, maybe they are unable to hear any other perspective or entertain a well intended challenge, I shut down. Now, as an attorney, you have a delicate balance here and a very thin line you have to navigate. If I'm shutting down when my job is literally to listen to attorneys for a living, imagine how fast a juror will shut down. As far as the case goes, you do know more than other folks. You're coming in with exponentially more information than the jurors, but your mindset still needs to be one of curiosity and humility. The jurors are bringing something unique to the proceedings, and you get to welcome their insight. Expertise is essential, but entitlement is optional, and jurors can feel the difference instantly. Know-it-allery, we'll make up that word, know-it-allery has an energy about it. Jurors can tell when you're a know-it-all, when you lack sincerity in your questions during jury selection, and when you're robotically moving through your agenda to be able to prove your point. You risk them shutting down. Why should they waste their emotional currency on you if they can already tell that you will not honor their vulnerability in this space? So, the know it all is so annoying. The other personality that just sends me over the edge, though, is the chronic apologizer, probably the polar opposite of the know it all. These are the people who feel like what they have to offer is second rate, not worthy of consideration. I've known people who've actually been apologizing as they speak. Sorry, I'm sorry. And attorneys do this all the time. You just do it nonverbally. You're not saying the actual apology words, but the mindset of insecurity impacts your nonverbal communication more than you realize. You end up apologizing with your tone, being soft spoken, letting your voice trail off at the ends of phrases. speaking in an oversaturation of head voice resonance that lacks presence. You're unintentionally undermining your authority. You shrink, you play small. A voice that shrinks makes jurors work harder to follow you, and when they have to work harder, they retain less. And what's really annoying about all of that is that you make me have to caretake for you. As a juror, you would be putting me in a position to have to rally the energy, bolster you, use my emotional currency to encourage you and to show that I truly am interested in your presentation. When I have to emotionally prop you up, I stop listening to the actual story because I'm suddenly managing you instead of learning about your client. It's exhausting. And then I've spent all my emotional currency on you instead of on your client. And I have nothing left when you need me to give myself, my experience, my knowledge, and my passion into advocating for your client in the deliberation room. I'm spent. The know it all makes me an emotional miser. The apologizer makes me emotionally bankrupt. Either way, you've drained me, and a drained juror is a disengaged juror. So, how can you make sure you're not riding the pendulum to a far extreme and turning your jury off to your client because of your approach? Check yourself at the door or in the car before you enter the courthouse. Set an intention towards genuine curiosity and remind yourself to value the contributions that you're not yet aware of. Open your heart to how the jury might enlighten and inspire you. Don't let your pride and your ego run the show. Know your stuff, but be in pursuit of sincere human connection throughout. Humility opens the door. Conviction invites jurors to walk through it with you. And practice speaking with conviction, using firm yet approachable inflections. Increase melody and explore your middle voice to capture just how interesting your case facts are. Then make sure your breath is able to sustain you as you lower your pitch and project for more authoritative presentation. Your voice is an extension of your expertise. Let it reflect your confidence and command. And we're not talking about doing a complete vocal makeover here. Even just a 10% increase in vocal presentation can turn you from uncertain to credible in a juror's subconscious. So reach out if you feel like you need some personal guidance and some help finding more dimension in your voice and in your nonverbal approach. Send me an email. I'm at Kristi@fostervoicestudio.com or send me a DM at my Instagram, which is @fostervoicestudio. I'd love to help you achieve the sincere, authentic connection with your jury that you want. Jurors connect to you long before they connect to your case, and your voice and mindset are the first cues they read. Until next time, keep fostering your voice. Thanks for pulling up a seat with me today and for being part of the Foster fam. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast so you don't miss a single episode. And while you're at it, go ahead and leave a review or a comment so I can give you a shout out on a future episode. During the week, you can find me on Instagram @FosterVoiceStudio, where I'm dropping little nuggets of vocal technique and leadership wisdom. You can also join my mailing list by visiting fostervoicestudio.com or by clicking the link in the show notes. I'll send a weekly vocal tip every Tuesday directly to your inbox. Until then, keep fostering your voice.